Success isn't about massive actions or sudden breakthroughs. It's built by the tiny choices you repeat every single day. This book reveals how ordinary habits, done consistently, can quietly transform your entire life. Welcome to Summarize, where every great book is transformed into powerful, clear, and easy-to-digest audio summaries. Save time, learn faster, and upgrade your mind, one book at a time. This is Summarize, Wisdom Made Simple, the Slight Edge book by Jeff Olson. Life is shaped not by one single choice, but by the accumulation of tiny, seemingly insignificant decisions repeated consistently over time. Jeff Olson, in The Slight Edge, reveals the quiet force behind extraordinary success, happiness, and fulfillment, showing that it is not genius, luck, or talent that separates the most successful people from the average, but the consistent application of small disciplines. These small disciplines are easy to do, and just as easy not to do, which is why so many people never achieve the lives they imagine. Most people fail because they underestimate the power of these tiny actions and overestimate the need for dramatic transformations. Olson's premise is simple yet revolutionary. It is the slight edge, the ability to do the right things consistently, day in and day out, that compounds over time to produce remarkable results. Olson begins by pointing out that knowledge alone does not create success. Nearly everyone knows what habits lead to health, wealth, and happiness: eating well, exercising, learning continuously, managing money wisely, and showing up with discipline. The problem is not ignorance. The problem is inconsistency. People fail to apply what they know. They procrastinate, make excuses, or wait for motivation to arrive, not realizing that success is a process, not an event. The Slight Edge teaches that every action matters. Every choice, no matter how small, is a vote for the person you are becoming. Over time, those votes accumulate into a life that looks completely different than where you started. The book emphasizes the danger of seeking instant gratification. Modern society is obsessed with speed and immediate results, but the Slight Edge works in the opposite direction. The impact of small actions is invisible at first. Drinking water instead of soda today, reading 10 pages of a book, walking for 15 minutes. None of these will change your life overnight. In fact, the results may not appear for weeks, months, or even years. This is why so many people give up prematurely. They assume that because they cannot see change immediately, their actions are pointless. Olson explains that this is a false perception. The Slight Edge is like compound interest. Growth is slow and invisible initially, but over time, the results multiply exponentially. Olson illustrates this with powerful examples. He explains that if a person wants to achieve financial freedom, their success does not depend on winning the lottery, getting a sudden raise, or making a single brilliant investment. Instead, it depends on consistently saving and investing small amounts over time. Similarly, health is not achieved by extreme workouts or fad diets, but by small, consistent actions such as taking the stairs, choosing healthy meals, and committing to daily activity. Relationships flourish not by grand gestures, but by consistent kindness, attention, and empathy. The compound effect applies to every area of life, and Olson's genius is in revealing how ordinary actions, repeated consistently, are extraordinary in their results. A key insight in this part of the book is that life's curve is often invisible. In the beginning, whether you choose disciplines or errors, life looks the same. You cannot see the consequences of your daily choices immediately. Someone who exercises, saves, reads, or improves their skills may feel frustrated when nothing seems to happen. Someone who procrastinates, overspends, or neglects relationships may feel fine today. Olson calls this the invisible curve of life, the quiet compounding of choices that eventually bend your life dramatically upward or downward. Those who understand this continue their positive habits even when progress is imperceptible, while those who quit are the ones who never see the breakthrough coming. The Slight Edge is not about heroics or intensity. Olson stresses that most people mistakenly think that success comes from massive action, epic achievements, or extraordinary effort. In reality, success is built on ordinary actions, repeated consistently. Going all in for a week and then giving up produces nothing. In contrast, doing small, simple things every day, no matter how boring, creates unstoppable momentum. This is why Olson says that the difference between success and failure is simple. The people who succeed consistently do what most people consider too small to matter. They understand that ordinary actions, when compounded, produce extraordinary results. A powerful lesson from this section is that your habits determine your future, whether you realize it or not. Every day, you are casting votes for the type of person you want to become. Every choice, what you eat, how you spend your time, how you think, shapes your character, discipline, and identity. There is no neutral behavior. Doing nothing is still a choice, and it has consequences. This principle forces readers to take personal responsibility. Success is not a matter of luck or circumstance. It is a predictable result of daily decisions. Olson also challenges the role of motivation in achieving long-term success. Motivation is unreliable, emotional, and fleeting. Waiting to feel inspired is a trap that keeps people stuck. The Slight Edge teaches that action precedes motivation. By committing to daily disciplines, even when you don't feel like it, you create momentum. Motivation eventually follows action, but it is never a prerequisite. This mindset shift separates high achievers from those who rely on fleeting feelings to guide their lives. By the end of this first section, the foundational principles of the Slight Edge are clear. Small actions matter. Results are delayed, but inevitable. Consistency beats intensity. Motivation is overrated. Responsibility is essential. Ordinary people achieve extraordinary results because they understand and apply these principles, while most people fail because they ignore them. Olson warns that the difference between a life of mediocrity and a life of fulfillment is small, subtle, and often unnoticed, but over time, the Slight Edge guarantees dramatic outcomes. In the second part of the Slight Edge, Jeff Olson explores how habits, consistency, and patience create the invisible force that drives success over time. He emphasizes that the key to extraordinary results is not what you do occasionally, but what you do every single day. Small disciplines repeated consistently, whether reading, exercising, saving, or learning, compound over time to produce remarkable outcomes. At the same time, simple errors repeated consistently, skipping effort, procrastinating, giving in to short-term pleasure, also compound, but toward failure. This contrast is at the heart of the Slight Edge. Ordinary, almost invisible actions determine the trajectory of your life. Olson highlights the importance of patience in the process. Most people expect results to appear immediately, and when they don't, they become frustrated and quit. The Slight Edge requires trusting the process, knowing that the impact of small disciplines is cumulative. Just as it takes years to grow a tree from a seed, it takes time for good habits to produce noticeable results. Yet, those who persist quietly, consistently applying themselves, eventually experience breakthroughs that seem sudden to the outside world, but are the natural consequence of years of consistent effort. One of the most compelling ideas Olson presents is that habits create identity. Every action you take, no matter how small, is a vote for the type of person you are becoming. Reading daily builds the identity of a learner. Exercising consistently builds the identity of a disciplined, healthy individual. Saving money regularly builds the identity of a responsible, wealthy person. Over time, these identities reinforce behavior, creating a positive feedback loop that makes success increasingly automatic. Conversely, neglecting positive actions reinforces negative self-perceptions, leading to downward momentum. Olson also explains why most people quit just before success. When results are invisible and the effort is consistent, it is natural to question whether your actions matter. Many people give up when they are on the verge of a breakthrough because they cannot see the invisible curve bending in their favor. The Slight Edge is often boring and unremarkable in the early stages, which is why discipline and patience are essential. Those who continue are the ones who ultimately benefit from the compounding effect of their consistent actions. A major focus of this section is time. Olson stresses that the power of the Slight Edge is magnified by time. A single positive or negative action may seem insignificant today, but repeated over months and years, it can produce life-changing results. Success and failure are both predictable because they are the product of time compounded with consistent action. The invisible work that goes into building habits eventually becomes visible through extraordinary outcomes. This principle removes randomness from success and gives individuals a sense of control over their future. Olson also addresses the mental and emotional aspects of applying the slight edge. Staying consistent is not always easy. Habits require attention, patience, and self-discipline. Fear, doubt, and temptation constantly challenge commitment. Yet, the small disciplines Olson recommends are deliberately designed to be simple and manageable, reducing resistance and making them sustainable. By committing to tiny actions daily, you gradually overcome inertia, build momentum, and shift your mindset toward growth, responsibility, and opportunity. Another key point is the role of environment and influence. Olson emphasizes that your surroundings, your relationships, media consumption, and daily routines shape your habits. Exposure to negativity, toxic people, or unproductive patterns can subtly undermine progress. Conversely, a growth-oriented environment reinforces good habits and magnifies results. Choosing the right influences and structuring your environment is therefore a vital part of the slight edge process. By the end of this section, Olson has established that the slight edge is predictable, reliable, and available to anyone willing to apply it consistently. Success does not require extraordinary effort, intelligence, or luck. It requires simple disciplines, patience, awareness, and consistency over time. Ordinary people achieve extraordinary lives because they apply these principles, while most people fail because they neglect them or give up too soon. The book demonstrates that mastery of the slight edge is ultimately mastery over one's own life, habits, and destiny. In the final part of the slight edge, Jeff Olson expands the principles beyond mere success, showing how they apply to happiness, fulfillment, and living a meaningful life. He emphasizes that the slight edge is not just a tool for wealth, health, or career achievement. It is a way to live intentionally, with purpose, and in alignment with your highest values. Happiness, Olson explains, is not a destination to reach after achieving goals. It is built daily through small choices that shape mindset, relationships, and personal growth. The same tiny disciplines that create external success also create inner peace and satisfaction. Olson stresses the importance of living intentionally rather than reacting passively to life. Many people drift through their days on autopilot, letting circumstances, emotions, and distractions dictate their actions. The slight edge requires awareness. Every day presents countless choices, and each one either moves you toward or away from the life you want. By making conscious, small decisions aligned with long-term goals, individuals design their lives rather than leave them to chance. Intentional living, according to Olson, transforms ordinary routines into purposeful actions that compound into extraordinary results over time. A central insight of this section is the role of mindset. Olson emphasizes that the people who succeed are not necessarily smarter, luckier, or more talented than others. They think differently. They understand that progress is a process, not a singular event. They embrace patience, persist through boredom and frustration, and trust the compounding power of small actions. By adopting a mindset that values discipline over instant gratification, individuals become resilient in the face of setbacks and consistent in the pursuit of their goals. The book also highlights the importance of self-discipline and emotional mastery. Fear, doubt, and temptation are constant challenges. Most people fail not because they lack knowledge or ability, but because they let emotions dictate choices. Olson explains that applying the slight edge means acting despite fear, sticking with daily disciplines when motivation fades, and resisting the urge for immediate pleasure. Over time, these small acts of self-mastery reinforce confidence, character, and resilience, which become powerful forces that sustain success in every area of life. Another critical aspect Olson addresses is the compounding of influence. Your environment, social circle, and daily inputs have a massive impact on your trajectory. Surrounding yourself with people who embrace growth, positivity, and accountability amplifies the slight edge, while toxic influences can quietly erode progress. Olson urges readers to intentionally select influences that support their goals, whether through mentorship, community, or media consumption. These choices, while small in the moment, compound into significant advantages over the long term. Olson emphasizes that extraordinary results are rarely flashy at first. The slight edge is subtle and often boring in the early stages. People may go months or even years without noticeable change, leading many to quit prematurely. Olson reminds readers that this is the natural phase of compounding. Small actions accumulate quietly until they reach a tipping point, producing breakthrough results that appear sudden, but are in reality the product of consistent effort over time. Patience, trust, and consistency are therefore the true secrets of success. The book also addresses long-term fulfillment. Olson argues that success without purpose or happiness is empty. The slight edge, when applied to relationships, health, and personal growth, produces not just material achievements, but deeper satisfaction and a sense of meaning. By committing to daily actions that improve body, mind, and relationships, individuals create a life that is balanced, sustainable, and aligned with their values. Happiness, he notes, is not the result of achieving external goals, but the natural outcome of applying disciplined habits consistently across all areas of life. As the book concludes, Olson stresses that everyone has access to the slight edge, regardless of background, age, or circumstances. The process is fair and predictable. Apply small, smart choices consistently, and results will follow. Ignore them, and failure will accumulate. There are no shortcuts, no hidden formulas, and no luck required. What separates extraordinary individuals from the average is simply the awareness of the slight edge and the courage to apply it daily, even when it feels insignificant or boring. The ultimate lesson of the slight edge is both simple and profound. Greatness is not achieved through radical changes or dramatic acts, but through small, intelligent, and consistent choices. Success, happiness, and fulfillment are built quietly over time, through repeated actions that are easy to do, but easy not to do. By embracing patience, discipline, intentionality, and awareness, ordinary people can achieve extraordinary lives. The slight edge is not just a strategy for success. It is a philosophy for living fully, responsibly, and purposefully. Jeff Olson concludes with a motivational reminder. Your life is the sum of your choices, made consistently over time. Every day is an opportunity to cast votes for the person you want to become. The slight edge works whether you recognize it or not, pushing your life toward success or failure. By choosing the small, simple disciplines consistently, you harness the quiet power that produces extraordinary results. Your future self is created by what you do today, not tomorrow, not next week, but every single day. Those who embrace this truth become unstoppable, achieving results far beyond what most people imagine possible. You've just listened to Summarize. If you enjoyed this summary, support the channel by liking and subscribing. It helps the knowledge reach more people. Until next time, keep learning.